Impact of British rule in India. So Britishers had a few policies to be adopted to take over the land in India, such as subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, divide and conquer, employed war and negotiation. The first two you have studied in the previous 11. Divide and conquer is nothing but dividing a place into many parts, and each part is taken care individually. Just like how a teacher divides the work to the bench leader, and by doing this a teacher can concentrate on each student. That is itself divide and conquer, or divide or rule. The next is negotiate and war. Negotiate and war refers to that with a king, Indian king, a Britishers used to negotiate, or they used to make a war. If the king doesn't agree for negotiation, he used to make a war. This is about the negotiate and war. And so we know that India is of many kings. India was ruled by hundreds of kings. So Britishers wanted to a single concept, that is they implemented one nation concept. In this, all over wherever the Britishers are ruling, there is a single rule, and they had two powers: administrative power and political power. In administration, it included education, taxes, agriculture, and etc. Now we are studying about the first service, civil service. It was implemented by Lord Cornwallis. Why it was implemented? Because to appoint the employee for trade purpose, to appoint the employee for trade purpose in East India Company. To do a trade in the East India Company, they wanted to appoint the employee. So they implemented civil service. And it was not successful because they hired private workers. These private workers became corrupt, like they can do it any trade without knowing to the company, so they became rich and it was a corrupt. To avoid this, they implemented Regulating Act in 1775. The Regulating Act says to control the corruption in the civil service, they implemented Regulating Act. And also in 1800, Lord Cornwallis opened a Fort William College. Why this college is? To join the civil service. Anyone wanted to join to civil service, they have to get the education in William College. And Indians were given the lower grade jobs, or Indians were not appointed, as Cornwallis said all the natives of Hindustan are completely corrupted. Next is about the judicial system. As British got their power in Mughal Empire with the Battle of Buxar and dual government, they wanted a centralized judicial system. So, in the year 1772, Warren Hastings, who was the Governor General, implemented two courts, that is a Diwani Adalat, which is a civil court, a Fauzdari Adalat, which is a criminal court. Civil court refers to the family issues and land issues. Criminal court is the theft or the crime or the robbery. So the justice were given with respect to the religion. Hindus were given the justice based on Hindu scripture and Muslims by Shariat, and the criminal courts were had a qajis. Qajis are nothing but the leader, the respective leader. These leader were used to give the justice to the criminals under the supervision of European officers. Next is about the police system. Lord Cornwallis introduced the police system. He gave a term, or he implemented superintendent of police, that is SP. Each district had a station, and each station had a kotwal. A kotwal who take responsibility of thefts or the crime, and each village had a chowkidar who had responsible to look after the particular village. And next is about in 1781, Britishers bought magistrate. So the magistrate looked after the police. The magistrate is nothing but a judge. A judge looked after the police. In 1861, they bought the Indian Police Act, and even in police system, Indians were not appointed, as they thought Indians were Weak. Next is about the military system. So in military, Britishers appointed Indians and they protected the supremacy, the priority or the topness of Britishers. How in the sense they addressed the challenges, they did not run away, they faced the challenges, and also the officers who were in the military were the Britishers, and the soldiers, simple or coolie soldiers, were the Indians, and the highest post in military system for an Indian was Subedar. And in 1857 the military system was redesigned. If you remember, 1857 is the reason for Sepoy Mutiny. Next is about the land tax policies. The East India Company had to pay 4 lakh pounds to Britishers for ruling in India. Just because they were ruling in India, they had to pay certain amount to the Britishers, the government. So they wanted money. So they got money by introducing such cunning policies: Zamindar system, Mahalwari system, and Royatwari system. The first is permanent Zamindari system. This was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in Bengal in the year 1793. The Zamindar was the owner. He was like a head of the village. He agreed to pay land taxes to the company on particular date every year. Every year on one date he have to pay the taxes to the company. In this permanent Zamindar system, Zamindar was free to collect. He can collect how much ever taxes he want from the farmers. So he can retain the money. Like if Britishers set 100 rupee, he can take 120 or 150 rupees, and 100 rupees he will give for the Britishers and 50 will keep for himself. So the Zamindar become very corrupted, and if Zamindar cannot pay the tax to the company will take the ownership of the lands. So in this system, Indian farmers were in huge loss, and many places like Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Varanasi came into the control of the Britishers. And also Metcalfe said that Indian farmers were born in debt and die in debt. Debt is nothing but the loan. Indian farmers will take loan, that is they take birth by taking the loan and even die in the loan. The next system is Mahalwari system. This system took place in taluks. Places like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Delhi were adopted Mahalwari system. This was implemented by R.M. Bird and James Thomson. In this system, both the zamindars, small and big zamindars, were under the effect. Why? In the sense, according to Mahalwari system, the Britishers or the officials fixed certain amount to the land than the expected production. No matter you have 1 acre or you have a few meters of land, you have to pay how much ever the fixed amount is by the Britishers. Thus, zamindars and farmers both were suffering with the implementation of Mahalwari system. Royatwari system was introduced by Alexander Reed in 1792, later in Mysuru and Madras by Thomas Munro in 1801. In this system, farmers were directly linked to the company. Like the farmer has to pay the tax, the 50% of production to the company with an agreement for 30 years. So this was the Royatwari system. The small farmers were the sufferers, because if they fail to pay the produce, they had to take the loan, and the loan cannot be paid back. So they sold the lands. Because they couldn't pay back the loan. So all the farmers were the sufferers with this Royatwari system. Impact of all the three land policies or land systems. A new class of zamindar who exploited the farmers was created. Set of zamindars misused the farmers, that is, there were exploit means nothing but to harassing or misusing the farmers. Next, those farmers who were exploited became the landless. Third point is that land became a business. Commodity is nothing but a business. And fourth point, loans could be raised by mortgaging. Mortgaging is nothing but a farmer gives the land to the money lender temporarily and take the money from the money lender and pay the tax to the Britishers. And if the money couldn't be paid back to the money lender, that land will be taken away by the money lender. That is known as mortgaging. Next is about the agriculture sector became commercialized. Even agriculture also became a business. It started to grow like a business. And the next point is the money lenders became strong. It is similar to the fourth point. So the people who gave money for the farmers became strong just because the farmers couldn't pay back the loan to the money lenders. This was the impact of this three new land policies.